The creation of the Celtic world. In the rich tapestry of Celtic mythology, many tales of creation seek to explain the origins of the world and the forces that shape it. Two of this story's most prominent and enduring versions come from the god Dagda and the goddess Danu, each offering their unique perspective on how the world came to be. The Dagda's story of creation is a powerful and masculine tale, rooted in the primal energy of the earth and the sky. In contrast, Danu's version of events is more nuanced and feminine, reflecting the delicate balance between nature and the divine. While both versions of the story share many similarities, their differences truly capture the essence of the Celtic worldview. By exploring these two versions of creation, we gain a deeper understanding of the complex interplay between male and female energies in Celtic mythology. Each version offers its unique insights into the nature of the world and the forces that shape it, revealing a deep and abiding respect for the power of creation and the importance of balance in all things. So let us delve into the stories of Dagda and Danu, and discover the magic and wonder of Celtic mythology. The world created by Dagda. In the time, before the land was known to men and before the sea had a name, there was only the void. It was a deep and dark abyss that stretched out in all directions, a formless chasm that held no life, no thought, and no movement. But in this emptiness, there was a god named Dagda, a powerful and wise deity who knew the secrets of creation. He was a great master of the elements and a master of magic, and with his power and knowledge, he set out to make a world where life could flourish. With his mighty hands, Dagda reached out and shaped the void, molding it into a great sphere that hung in the void. He then breathed life into the sphere, giving it a heart that pulsed with energy and light. Dagda then filled the world with the four elements, summoning earth, air, fire, and water to bring the sphere to life. The earth formed mountains and valleys, the air stirred into gusts and winds, the fire sparked and burned, and the water flowed into great rivers and seas. With the elements in place, Dagda set about creating the plants and animals of the world. From the soil, he grew vast forests of oak, ash, and beech, filling them with creatures of all kinds. He then summoned the birds and the beasts, the fish and the insects, each one crafted with care and imbued with the spirit of the world. But Dagda was not finished. He knew that the world needed beings of greater wisdom and intelligence, ones that could learn and create and explore. And so, he fashioned humanity from the clay of the earth, giving them the gifts of thought and speech, of love and knowledge. And so, the world was born, a place of endless wonder and mystery, crafted with the skill of a god and imbued with the spark of life. And Dagda, the great creator, looked upon his work and saw that it was good. And so it was that the great god Dagda set about creating the world. He began by fashioning a mighty cauldron, which he filled with water from the four rivers that flowed through the other world. He then used his staff to stir the water, and as he did so, the currents began to swirl and eddy, forming great whirlpools and waves. As he worked, the sound of his stirring echoed throughout the vast emptiness of the void, and from this sound, a great wind arose, blowing across the waters and driving them before it. The wind gathered strength, and soon it was a great tempest, whipping the waters into a frenzy and creating great waves that rose and fell, crashing against each other in a tumultuous dance. From the heart of the storm, a great pillar of light descended, and as it touched the water, the light exploded into 1,000 sparks, each one a star. The sparks danced and spun, weaving intricate patterns across the surface of the water, and from these patterns, the first land began to take shape. Dagda watched in wonder as the land rose from the waters, its hills and valleys, its mountains and forests, all taking shape under the light of the stars. And as the land grew and expanded, Dagda set about populating it with the creatures of his creation, the beasts of the forest, the birds of the air, and the fish of the sea. But still, the land was empty of intelligent life, and so Dagda took a handful of clay and molded it into the shape of a man. He breathed life into the clay, and the man came to life, looking up at his creator with wonder and awe. Dagda named the man Nuada, and he gave him the power to rule over all the creatures of the land. And with this, the world was complete, a place of beauty and wonder, teeming with life and filled with the sound of the wind and the water, the song of the birds and the roar of the beasts. And Dagda, content with his creation, retreated into the other world, leaving the world to its own devices, to be shaped and guided by the hands of those who called it home. And so, with the sound of his harp, Dagda sang the world into existence. The mountains rose, the rivers flowed, and the trees grew tall. The sky above was filled with stars, and the earth below was teeming with life. Dagda himself took on the role of the all-encompassing father, the ruler of the earth and sky, the protector of all living things. He was the god of agriculture, the arts, healing, and even magic. His power was immense, and his will could shape the world around him. But even the great Dagda was not without his own vulnerabilities. His true power was not in his strength, but in his wisdom and his ability to see the world from many perspectives. He understood the balance of all things, and the importance of each and every being in the grand scheme of things. For centuries, the Celts honored Dagda and the world he had created with rituals, offerings, and festivals. They believed that by living in harmony with nature, they could continue to honor and support the world around them. The world created by Danu. In the beginning, there was nothing. No earth, no sky, no stars, no sun, no moon. All was shrouded in darkness and silence, without beginning or end. But then, a great force stirred in the emptiness, a primal energy that began to move and swirl and dance. From this cosmic dance, a great light was born, brighter than any that had ever been seen. It radiated outwards, bathing everything in its glow, and from its brilliant center emerged a being of immense power and majesty. This was the first god of the Celts, and he was known as Danu. She was the mother of all things, the source of life and creation, and from her came the rivers, the trees, the animals, and the very soil of the earth. From her very being, Danu brought forth all of creation. She gave birth to the four great elements, and from them she fashioned the land, the sea, and the sky. She breathed life into the first plants and animals, and in doing so, created the very essence of nature. Danu was a great and powerful goddess, but she was also gentle and nurturing. She took great care in shaping the world and gave every creature a purpose. She created the great forests and the deep rivers, the soaring mountains, and the open plains. And in the midst of all this beauty, she placed the first humans. These humans were not like any others that would come after them. They were blessed by Danu herself, with the power to communicate with the spirits of the natural world. They were known as the Tuatha De Danann, the children of Danu. Danu watched over her children with great love and care, and for many years they lived in harmony with the world she had created. They built great monuments and temples to honor her, and in return, she blessed them with great wisdom and knowledge. But as time passed, the children of Danu grew restless. They longed for new challenges and adventures, and so they began to explore the world beyond the borders of their land. In doing so, they came into contact with other tribes and cultures and soon found themselves embroiled in conflicts and battles. Through all of this, Danu watched over her children, guiding them and protecting them as best she could. Although they faced many challenges and hardships, they always knew that they could count on the love and guidance of their great mother. Danu was not just a creator, she was also a protector, a teacher, and a guide. And her legacy lives on to this day, in the beauty and majesty of the natural world, and in the hearts of those who seek her wisdom and guidance. Danu knew that her work was not yet complete. She had given life to the world, but she knew that there was still more to do. She watched over her creation with love and care, guiding and protecting it from the dangers that lurked in the darkness. And so, the world was created by the loving hand of the goddess Danu, who had breathed life into every living creature that roamed its surface. The trees swayed in the breeze, the rivers flowed to the sea, and the animals went about their daily lives, all under the watchful eye of their mother and creator. The Great Oak. The role of the great oak in Celtic mythology is complex and multifaceted, reflecting the many layers of meaning and symbolism that are woven into the stories and beliefs of this ancient culture. The great oak, standing tall and proud at the center of the Celtic world, was more than just a tree. It was a symbol of the universe, a bridge between the physical and spiritual realms, and a conduit for divine energy to flow through. This magnificent tree, with its branches reaching to the sky and its roots delving deep into the earth, played a pivotal role in the creation myths of the Celts. According to Celtic mythology, the great oak was the axis mundi, the center of the world, connecting the three worlds, the upper world, the middle world, and the lower world. The upper world was the realm of the gods and goddesses, while the lower world was the home of the dead and the otherworldly creatures. The middle world, where humans lived, was the place where the physical and spiritual realms intersected, and where the great oak stood. The great oak was not only a physical manifestation of the cosmic order, but also a powerful source of inspiration and knowledge for the Celts. Its leaves rustled with secrets of the universe, and its branches whispered of ancient wisdom. The Celts believed that by communing with the great oak, they could tap into the knowledge of the universe and gain a deeper understanding of their place in the world. In the creation myths of the Celts, the great oak played a crucial role. It was said that the world was created from the acorn of the great oak and that its branches and roots extended to all corners of the universe. The great oak was the source of life, the giver of nourishment, and the protector of the universe. As the Celts looked to the great oak for guidance and inspiration, they recognized its immense power and the importance of maintaining a connection with the natural world. The great oak served as a reminder of the intricate web of life and the interconnectedness of all things. Its presence inspired reverence, awe, and a deep respect for the natural world that the Celts lived in. It was also believed that the great oak was the meeting place of the gods, where they would gather to hold council and make decisions that affected the fate of the world. The tree was a symbol of the cyclical nature of life and death, with its annual shedding of leaves and regrowth representing the ever-repeating cycle of the seasons. Concept of three worlds. In some versions of the Celtic creation myths, the three worlds are also central to the story. These worlds are the upper world, the lower world, and the middle world, which is the world of mortals. The upper world is the realm of the gods and goddesses, and it is often associated with the sky and the heavens. The lower world, on the other hand, is the realm of the dead and is often thought to be underground or beneath the earth. The middle world, where we live, is seen as a bridge between the upper and lower worlds. In some myths, the creation of the world is also connected to the three worlds. For example, in the Welsh tale of Math ap Mathenwy, the goddess Dawn creates the world by combining the elements of the three worlds. She takes flowers from the upper world, soil from the middle world, and water from the lower world to create the world we know. In other myths, the three worlds are seen as places that can be traveled to by mortals, particularly by shamans or druids. By journeying to the lower world or the upper world, these individuals can communicate with the dead or the gods and goddesses, and gain knowledge or power. The three worlds, then, are an important part of Celtic mythology, and they represent the interconnectedness of all things, as well as the importance of understanding and respecting different realms of existence. They remind us that there is more to the world than what we can see or touch and that the mysteries of the universe are always waiting to be explored. In the mythology of many cultures, the number 3 holds great significance. The Celts were no exception, and the motif of the divine three is prominent in many of their tales and legends. This triple aspect of the divine is seen in various forms in many mythologies, but in Celtic mythology, it is particularly important. The three aspects of the divine are often described as the maiden, the mother, and the crone. In the Celtic world, they were often known as the three sisters or the three mothers. In Celtic myth, the world is seen as a living, breathing entity, with its own spirit and consciousness. The three aspects of the divine are intimately connected with the natural world, and they are seen as playing a vital role in the creation and maintenance of the world. The maiden is associated with youth, new beginnings, and the promise of the future. She represents the innocence and purity of childhood, and is often associated with the springtime, when new life is blooming all around us. The mother, on the other hand, is associated with fertility, nurturing, and the abundance of life. She represents the fullness of life, and is often associated with the summer, when the crops are growing and the world is teeming with life. The crone is associated with wisdom, experience, and the passing of time. She represents the culmination of life, and is often associated with the autumn, when the leaves are falling and the world is preparing for the stillness of winter. Together, the three sisters are seen as the guardians of the world, responsible for its creation and its continued existence. They are the embodiment of the natural cycles of life, death, and rebirth that are so important in Celtic mythology. In the creation myths of the Celts, the three sisters are often depicted as playing a central role. They are seen as working together to bring the world into being, each contributing their own unique qualities and energies to the process. It is through the interplay of the maiden, the mother, and the crone that the world is brought to life, and it is through their ongoing presence and influence that the world continues to thrive. In this way, the three sisters are seen as not only the creators of the world, but also its protectors and sustainers, guiding it through the cycles of life, death, and rebirth that are so central to Celtic mythology.